I used to be in the music business, as we discussed, and music and books are a huge part of my life. And I really wanted a little bit of a departure from the emotionally driven love story. And so this was the perfect way for me to highlight both, music and books. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but I loved the song Hey There, Delilah. Being somebody who falls into a love story or a book or, a great song, it got my antenna going that I hated the song, the real story behind the song. And I don't know if you know the real story behind the song, but Delilah was a track star at Columbia, and she lived in Chicago, and Tom Higginson met her at a bar. She had a boyfriend at the time, and he was like, well, I'm going to write you a song one day. And there was a lot of flack about that. And when I even pitched this book idea to different entities, they were like, who cares about that song? And he was like a stalker. So there was like a little bit of negativity around it. But here's the romantic in me. I was like, that is the most romantic gesture in the entire world. So, and by the way, she ended up going to the Grammys with him. So it couldn't have been too uncomfortable of a situation. So, but who am I to say that? But I decided that I wanted to reimagine the love story of the Delilah song and put it into a book. And when I tell you the obstacles that I had to go through for approvals and lyrics and whatnot. So the story revolves around Cecilia James, who's a Rolling Stone reporter, and she's on the hunt for the muse and the inspiration behind this famous love song. And the book goes back and forth to 1970s Surfside, Miami, Florida, and 1990 Los Angeles and Rolling Stone, and how these two women they both have these incredible love stories and how ultimately they fuse together. And it was so much fun to write this book. And I tell people, if you write what you're passionate about and you write what you care about, it just flows out of you. And to be able to write a book and about music was just a dream. So Tom Higginson wrote the foreword. We've got the lyric approval. What You Do to Me is a line from the song. So I feel like it's like magic. Some of the supporting cast have been the characters that I love the most, and it doesn't always start out that way. I have found that I don't really plot out. There's plotters and pantsers. I'm sure you've heard that 9 million times. So I just sort of sit down and sometimes a character is introduced that we need sort of a buffer. We need some of a distraction. And this peripheral character ends up taking me like on a journey and becomes like an instrumental part of the main character's plot line. So it's funny. You don't, for me, I don't start out that way, that these characters are going to have such an impact. And what ends up happening is they end up writing the story for you in your head.